This year is phenomenal. Everybody wants to grow their own vegetables. People who've never even seen a tomato plant walk in looking to grow a tomato.
This family-run farm is tucked away in the heart of Northern California, midway between San Francisco and Sacramento. Once you step inside, you'll soon realize it's 3 acres of land that's bursting with color, wonderful smells, and a huge variety of all kinds of herbs and plants.
This is an ornamental sage called Salvia San Carlos Festival. This one is a soapwort, Saponaria. And the old soapworts, of course, you would take the leaves and you could actually make them into a natural soap. This is one of our favorite sages, grape-scented sage. The flowers taste like grapes.
For the last 15 years, RoseLoveall-Sale and her husband Dan have been running this farm, but the land has actually been in their family for generations.
This property at one point was owned by my great-grandparents, and then they sold it to some friends who sold it back to my parents, and they grew walnut trees here. So, and my family actually has been here since the mid-teens of the last century, and they've been farming this area, this valley.
Rose studied forestry at UC Berkeley, but soon realized she really loved planting things. So together, she and Dan decided to try herbs. Success soon followed, and the farm is now one of the largest wholesale suppliers of herbs and perennial plants to nurseries in California and Nevada, delivering to more than 50 retailers.
And I find it a lot more interesting to look for these rare plants, and a lot of them are really good for California climates. They work perfectly in our area. Again, they're multifunctional, so you can cook with a lot of them. A lot of them you cook with kind of unusual cuisines. And a lot of them are drought tolerant, so it really goes forward on what we would like to promote, which is, dry gardening in our area.
Like lavender, 30 different types grow on this farm. Go ahead, try and say this one's name.
Levandula stoicus Q red.
It's called a what?
Levandula stoicus Q red. It becomes important to know which lavender you have.
The Vacaville farm has the feel and the charm of a rustic garden. But make no mistake, like most farms, the work is often 24/7. Rose says planting 200 flats of one herb in a week is not unusual.
Makes it interesting, definitely.
Always busy.
Always busy.
Every plant sold on the farm is actually grown right here on this land. About 70% comes from cuttings, the rest is harvested from seeds.
So a lot of these plants that you see with the colorful leaves, these are all heucheras.
The farm has 8 greenhouses, and you can find at least 12 different types of basil and more than 5 dozen types of sage, plus a whole range of unusual echinaceas and salvias. Now, many of these herbs and plants are sold direct to customers.
I think it's been really helpful because before I started coming here, I didn't have any gardening experience at all. And so I really learned a lot about what kind of growing conditions, how much water, how much sun, even where to put things in my yard because of how my house is oriented. So they've given me so much great information.
Rose says if you want to start your own herb garden, there's a couple of things to remember.
You always want to make sure you look for a nice sunny location. Almost all of your culinary herbs that people think of as being really important for cooking are full sun lovers. So that means at least 4 hours and more sun if possible.
She says herbs add more color and fragrance to your garden than many flowers, and the wonderful smells last for months. But be warned, once you start, there's a good chance that, like Rose, you'll soon become hooked on growing herbs.
Yeah, you do get kind of crazy about it.
Charlotte Fidipi for California Country TV.